we're talking about rural medicine and what motivates somebody in order to practice rural medicine. So if you could start by telling us a little about the community in which you practice.
Okay, so Sullivan County, which is about 2 hours north of New York City, is a very rural county for sure. Population is small. There really are very few large industries, large businesses. There's plenty of smaller types of businesses. There's plenty of farms, lots of what's the word I want? Recreational things to do up here. Mountains, streams, cow pastures, deer. That's a rural county, and that's where we live.
And how long have you been practicing medicine there?
We're coming up on about 22 or 23 years.
And you moved there from Long Island, is that right?
That is correct.
So what motivated you all those years ago to go into rural medicine?
So there's actually, there are two answers. Two things happened simultaneously. One was economics and financial and situational, and probably in many ways was the key thing. But when I graduated all my programs in the 1980s on Long Island, HMOs, health maintenance organizations, were first making their presence felt in the Long Island area. Many of the doctors who trained me liked me and asked me to join them. And since my parents lived on Long Island and my sister lived on Long Island, it was assumed by all involved, except for maybe me, that I would end up on Long Island near my family. And had the economics been right, it may well have turned out that way. But most of these practices, while they loved me, wanted me, whatever, they were so nervous about the impact of HMOs on the financial well-being of their practice that what they were prepared to offer a new associate was frankly pretty crummy. And just to give you the basics, it really came down to two things. I made a small salary as a trainee. All residents and fellows make small salaries. The salary they were prepared to offer me as an associate was just a little bit more than what I was making as a trainee. It was really not remotely enough. I was getting married, starting a family. It was almost insulting how little of a bump above my trainee salary, and even worse, the length of time I would have to work for them before being offered a partnership, which mentally I thought would be 2 years maybe seemed reasonable, was 5 years. Half a decade, that's like indentured servitude. And that really didn't make sense for me. So that was one big motivation. The other big motivation is I grew up in suburbia. No knock against suburbia per se. And the suburbs are beautiful. There's a certain lifestyle pace about the suburbs that did not appeal to me, and the congestion and the volume of people. And I'd always said to my mom over the years when she assumed I was going to work near them, I said, gee, I don't know, Ma, I might just become a country doc. And I said that as an offhanded comment. I wasn't really necessarily planning on that, but lo and behold, that's how it worked out. So anyway, when I realized I was going to get a really bad deal on Long Island, I just joined a headhunting company, and they started matching me up with practices looking for a new doctor. So my wife and I were looking at practices up in New Hampshire, all over the Northeast, and then they showed us this practice. And for a wide variety of reasons, the location, the distance to my family in Long Island, it's only a 2-hour drive, was all very appealing. And the practice made me a far better offer. Work for 2 years and then become a partner at a much better salary. And I said, this is it. This is where I have to go.